They don't care about when Jesus Christ was born. Nah, they really don't care, because if they did, they would do their research. And they would find out when he was really actually born. And they would realize, oh shit, it wasn't on December 25th. They would do their research. But people don't give a damn about the facts. So you know what they do? They sell you a story. And the story leaves a more stronger impression on the mind. That's why they say facts tells, but story sells. If I could sell you on a story, you'll believe it more, and it will be embedded in your mind. And now it's a part of your thinking and your programming. So we don't deal with facts. A lot of times they deal with selling you a story. And that's what most people go. They basically base their whole life on a story, a false narrative that ain't even real. That ain't even real at all. You dig? That's why a lot of times, you know, when they have these stories, what happens? What happens when they sell you a story? See, when they sell you a story, like I just said, facts tells, but story sells. When I sell you a story, I can get you to go buy things that you had no idea that you wanted or even thought about getting. Let me break it down for you, what I mean by that. Because they sold you a story of Christmas, and they told you that Jesus was born on December 25th, and they sold you a story about Santa Claus and the 12 or 7 reindeers. I don't know how much it is. I know about Rudolph and 1 or 2 of them, but I don't really know how much reindeers it is. I'm just gonna say it's 12, right? They sell you on a story of Christmas and all the reindeers and Mrs. Claus and all that good stuff, right? You know what you do? You go out there and you buy products. You spend money you don't even have. You buy things you don't even want. You start to celebrate something that you don't even really truly believe in. You don't even know the facts of the story behind this whole propaganda. You dig? And I don't mean to burst your bubble, but I gotta tell you and give it to you real. Facts tells, but story sells. So they sell you the story because it encourages you to go shopping. And they got a whole theme of what's going on behind this particular story. That's why when you go to New York City in the wintertime on Christmas, they used to have a big parade. They used to call it a Macy's parade. Macy's was one of these big ass shopping stores that they had on 34th Street in New York City. They got it all over the world. I know you heard of it. Macy's is a big shopping mall, you dig? And every December 25th, they would have this big ass Macy's parade. And of course, they would have the trees and all the decoration and everything going on, you dig? And that would be the vibe. But it would encourage poor people like me and you to go shopping and spend money that we don't have to buy things we don't need. That was the whole propaganda behind the bullshit. That was the whole story they had to sell. They had to sell you on something for you to go buy something. That's how they fix the story, you dig? Facts tell, stories sell. So the more stories they sell you, you gotta understand there's an underlining scheme behind it. Like I said, you go spend money you don't have to buy things you don't need. And it keeps you in a hole. And the more they can keep the masses of the people in a hole, the more you'll keep them occupied. And they could be working behind the scenes to do whatever they got to do to keep us in control. Now, I wasn't going to go this direction, but sometimes, you know, like I said again, I let the spirit move me, and this is where it told me to go. I went in this direction because this is what y'all need to hear. I normally don't talk about this type of things on the internet because at the end of the day, I already know how the game go. You talk about shit like this that it becomes too real, and you know what I mean? And then they start to block you. They start to, you know, not push your content out to the algorithm because you talking shit that goes against the grain. You feel me? We got toys to sell. We got people to market to. They don't want me talking about this type of shit, man. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I shouldn't even be saying this type of shit. I'm gonna keep it 100, man. I'm gonna shut up, man. You dig? I don't need the alphabet boys looking at me, watching me, because that ain't what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to really give you some game to inform you and to help you wisen up and understand that money that you're spending on Christmas, that money that you're spending this year that you don't have, that's the money that you need to be stacking up and saving so you can invest in something that's going to bring you bigger dividends later on down the line. You dig? I know you thinking in your mind, okay, I only spent $1,000, but that $1,000 could have made you another $1,000 if you put it in the right investment account. So you got to be thinking 10 steps ahead. You got to be thinking 20 steps ahead, man. Yeah, you got to be thinking about your future. You got to really be focused on the future. You got to live your future in your present. I stress this all the time. You have to be thinking 10 steps ahead. That 50 or that $100 bill that you spend this Christmas that you don't need to be spending or you didn't have to spend, but you found some way to get the money and you spent it and you bought your kid a toy car or toy whatever you did. Man, listen, man, what you should have done was buy your kid some stocks and tell your child, hey, listen, man, I ain't got no toys this year, but I got you some stocks. Yeah, I ain't got you no toy gun. I ain't got you a toy car, but I definitely got you, you know what I mean? Yeah, I got you some Tesla stocks. I got you some Apple stock. Yeah, I know you love the Apple phone and you love iPods and, you know, MacBook Pros and stuff like that. I got you all of those, but now I got you some stocks in Apple because you like this company, you like their product. So why not own some of their product, own some of their stock? See, these are the things you got to be doing for your kids. I know toys is cool, toys is fine, but he'll play with that toy today and be done with that shit tomorrow. You feel me? That's just what it is. They gonna play with that motherfucker today and be done with that shit tomorrow. But you got to be thinking beyond that. You got to understand, you got to set this child up for the future. It's gonna be rough out here, man. In the next couple of years, with AI taking over all the jobs and different things like of that nature, it's gonna be rough for him or her when they coming up and trying to make it.